Ever find yourself questioning the dynamics of your marriage and wondering if you're dealing with narcissism? Today, we delve into crucial questions that can illuminate your situation. If you're searching for clarity in your relationship, this video is your first step. Let's get started. 1. Does she dominate the conversation? Let's kick things off with communication, or lack thereof. Imagine you're talking to your wife and the conversation is flowing. But wait, is it really a conversation or more of a monologue? Let's dive into this. When you talk to your wife, does it seem like she's the only one who has anything interesting to say? You start telling a story, but somehow she brings it back to herself. Every single time. It's like a game of conversational hot potato, but she's the only one playing. You might wonder, is it me? Am I just uninteresting? But no, my friend, this is a classic sign that you are dealing with a narcissistic wife. She craves the attention, the stage, and the spotlight. If you're feeling more like a spectator than a participant in your conversations, it's time to ask yourself, is this the partnership I signed up for? Remember, a true conversation is a two-way street, not a one-woman show. 2. Does she lack empathy? Empathy is like the emotional glue that holds relationships together. But what happens when that glue starts to dissolve? So you've had a rough day at work, and all you need is a little understanding and a listening ear. You start to share your woes, but instead of finding a compassionate partner, you find yourself talking to a brick wall. She seems disinterested, distant, or maybe even annoyed by your emotions. It's like trying to draw water from a stone. You're left wondering, does she even care? A narcissistic wife might struggle to put herself in your shoes or validate your feelings. And over time, this lack of emotional support can leave you feeling lonely and unheard. If you find yourself questioning whether she truly understands or cares about your emotions, it might be a sign that empathy is in short supply. Everyone deserves to feel heard and valued in a relationship. 3. Does she play the victim? Does she consistently paint herself as the helpless heroine in a tragic saga? She seems to be acting out a predetermined script in her head, wherein she is always the victim of injustice and never the aggrieved party. Think back. Can you recall moments when she's made mistakes or hurt you, yet somehow she's twisted the story to gain sympathy? It's a classic narcissistic move. She crafts a narrative where she's the victim, not the perpetrator. Her ability to spin the story is like a spider weaving a web, intricate and deceptive, leaving you entangled and confused. This isn't about dodging blame, it's a manipulation tactic designed to keep you off balance and her in control. So, ask yourself, are you living with a perpetual victim? The answer might just be the wake-up call you need. 4. Is she excessively envious? Does she seem to harbour intense resentment when others succeed, especially if their triumphs eclipse her own? It's like she's running a never-ending race, not to reach her own goals, but to ensure no one else gets ahead. Her eyes are on everyone else's prize, begrudging their happiness and achievements, and her jealousy extends to your accomplishments too. It's as if she can't stand to share the spotlight, even with you, her partner. This kind of envy isn't just about wanting what others have, it's about not wanting others to have anything at all. It's a toxic trait, and it stems from deep-seated insecurity and a fragile ego. So, ponder this. Is your relationship a safe space for mutual growth, or is it overshadowed by her envious nature? 5. Does she have a grandiose sense of self? Observe her world, and you might start to notice that she lives in a castle in the sky, built on her own grandiose perceptions. It's more than just confidence, it's a pervasive belief in her superiority. Like a queen looking down from her throne, she expects reverence and submission, not just from you, but from everyone around. It's as if she's the sun, and the whole universe revolves around her. Conversations with her might feel like you're talking to someone who's been to the moon and back, and yet you've never left the ground. This grandiosity isn't just a facade, it's an impenetrable fortress, guarding her from any inkling of self-doubt or criticism. It's a dangerous dance, and you're left juggling the delicate balance between feeding her ego and losing your own sense of self-worth. You start to wonder, is there any room for you in this relationship, or is it all just a stage for her grand performance? 6. Is she obsessed with her appearance? Now, let's talk about appearances. On the surface, it might seem like she's just really into fashion and beauty, but dig a little deeper and you'll find an obsession with appearance that goes beyond the norm. It's like she's chasing an unattainable ideal, sculpting herself to fit into a mould that only she can see. Her reflection in the mirror isn't just a reflection, it's an audience, a critic, and a judge, all rolled into one. This obsession eats away at your time together as hours are spent in preparation for even the simplest of outings. It's as if she's a performer, perpetually stuck in the dressing room, never quite ready for the curtain to rise. And it's not just about looking good for the sake of looking good. It's a tool, a weapon in her arsenal. Her appearance becomes a way to assert dominance, to command attention, and to validate her worth. You find yourself playing the role of the silent supporter, cheering from the sidelines as she takes centre stage in this never-ending beauty pageant. 7. Does she require constant admiration? This one ties back to her sense of grandiosity. When you embark on a journey through her world, it becomes clear. Her thirst for admiration is unquenchable. She's like a flower that refuses to bloom unless it's showered with attention and praise. Her need for admiration isn't just a preference, it's a necessity and a vital component of her emotional diet. It's as if she's crafted an intricate web, and at the very centre, she sits, patiently waiting for the next drop of validation to sustain her. You find yourself playing the part of the admirer, constantly on call to feed her ego with compliments and praise. But here's the kicker. No amount of admiration is ever enough. It's like pouring water into a sieve and watching it disappear as quickly as it came. You start to wonder, will there ever be a moment when she's satisfied? Or is this an endless cycle of need and supply? Your role in her life becomes clear. You are the admirer, the giver of praise, and the fuel for her never-ending quest for validation. 8. Does she exploit others, including you? Navigating through the intricacies of her world, one stark reality becomes apparent. She's a master at exploitation, turning every interaction into an opportunity to benefit herself. Like a chess grandmaster, she's always several moves ahead, calculating the best way to use others to her advantage. She treats people like pawns in her own personal game, moving them around the board with a kind of cold, calculated precision. So, what's your role in her life? It's not about love or companionship, it's about utility, what you could do for her. She siphons your energy, your time, and your resources, leaving you drained and depleted. It's a parasitic dance where she's the beneficiary and you're left wondering when it became okay for her to take so much and give so little. You find yourself asking, is this love or is this just a one-sided transaction? The scales are tipped in her favour and you're left wondering how to balance the equation before you lose yourself completely. 9. Does she struggle to maintain long-term friendships? If you reflect on her social circle, you might start to notice a peculiar pattern, a revolving door of friends, with very few sticking around for the long haul. It's like she's a director, casting characters for her life's play, but roles are temporary and the cast is ever-changing. She might speak of past friends with disdain or indifference, painting herself as the victim of their supposed wrongdoings. This constant churn of friendships isn't just coincidental, it's symptomatic of her inability to nurture genuine reciprocal relationships. Her friendships are like delicate flowers, beautiful from a distance, but wither under her need for control and lack of empathy. You might find yourself asking, if these friendships can't withstand the test of time, what does that mean for your relationship? Is your role in her life also temporary? And are you next in line to be cut from the cast when you no longer fit the script? 10. Is she often angry or easily irritated? Her temper might be like a dormant volcano, peaceful on the surface, but with a fiery rage bubbling just beneath. Small things, insignificant to most, can ignite her anger, setting off an eruption of emotion. It's as if she's waging a constant battle, armed with anger, ready to defend her ego against any perceived slight or challenge. Living with her might feel like walking on eggshells, tiptoeing around her mood swings and trying desperately to avoid her fiery wrath. This constant state of tension is exhausting, draining the joy and spontaneity out of your relationship. Her irritability isn't just a fleeting mood, it's a red flag, signalling a lack of emotional regulation and a penchant for conflict. You find yourself questioning, is this the storm I have to weather for love? Is the love and companionship worth the volatile highs and lows? It's a delicate dance, and you're left wondering if you're dancing with a partner or dodging bullets on a battlefield. 11. Does she manipulate or gaslight you? Manipulation and gaslighting are like the invisible threads in her intricate web, subtle yet immensely powerful. When she manipulates, she's an artist painting a reality that suits her narrative, while you're left feeling disoriented and questioning your own sanity. Gaslighting is her secret weapon, a psychological sleight of hand that makes you doubt your perceptions and memories. You might share your feelings, only to have them twisted and turned until you're apologising, feeling guilty for things you didn't do. It's a mental maze with shifting walls as she holds the blueprint. You find yourself asking, am I losing my grip on reality? The truth becomes elusive, and trust in your own judgment starts to erode. She's skilled at playing the victim or the saviour, whichever role ensures her control and keeps you in a state of dependency. It's a toxic dance, and you're left wondering, is this love, or is it a power play cloaked in affection? Having explored these important questions, what's next? See if you recognise any of the 10 things a narcissist would say to a husband, or the common lies told by a narcissistic wife. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.